Hello, this is Jam Master Daniel 96, and in today's video, I will be talking about this brief Twitter thread I came across today that someone sent me on Twitter, and I will put it up on the screen, and I'm going to read you this little thing that I just found. I'll link it down below so you can check out the whole Twitter thread for yourself, and it was Pablo Hidalgo in a thread with a few other guys talking about the Star Wars Expanded Universe, and this person said, I think about some of the things that happened in the EU. I can't imagine how angry they'd be if they'd happened first in the sequel trilogy. Can you imagine if they brought back Mara Jade and Kylo Ren killed her, which, pretty much in the expanded universe, like Jason Solo, aka Darth Kaitis, which is pretty much Kylo Ren's expanded universe counterpart, killed Mara Jade, and I could see there being backlash if that happened in the sequel trilogy. And if Luke went to the dark side, I think we would have a big controversy there, like how we did with The Last Jedi, of Luke's betrayal in the movie, how there was a big debate over that, if he was in character or not. And then if they dropped a moon on Chewie, which, Chewbacca died in the expanded universe, and there was a big backlash of that. And I think if they did it in the sequel trilogy, if they killed Chewbacca, I'm sure there would be a big backlash there. So, I think I could see those things happening. I'm not sure this guy is poking fun at the EU fans, but I think if stuff like that happened in the sequels, I'm sure there would be a backlash. Definitely, a big backlash about the death of Luke Skywalker, and then I guess, with Han Solo, really there was no surprise for Han Solo to die in The Force Awakens, because really Harrison Ford wanted to kill off Han Solo. And then moving on to the next part of the Twitter, which was a reply by Adam Lance Garcia, or if they had jumped a generation or two and focused on Cade Skywalker, and then he puts a question mark at the end. Then Pablo Hidalgo comes in to the thread and says, that was my hope. Set these movies a century later and only have Chewie, C-3PO, and R2 continue. But, which that's the most interesting part, that Pablo Hidalgo's hope was that he thought maybe the sequel trilogy could be set like a century later, which I think possibly is one of the ways they could have had the expanded universe, still canon while making a sequel trilogy. Is, I think, the best way I've discussed in the past is have it either post Crucible and between Legacy, if you wanted to bring back the original three actors with Luke, Han, and Leia, and even Lando, bring back the original actors, because that would have matched their age for the original actors for that part of the timeline, and then give them, see, where that would give the answers to what happens to them, because we never really got their deaths in the expanded universe. And that way could have been a way to go to keep make a sequel trilogy with keeping the EU intact. Or, it could have went, further in the future, like, set after the Legacy comics, and maybe, they could have brought in Cade Skywalker and Anya Solo, or they could have even had the sequel trilogy even further in the future, and they could have, still had Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo Ren. And definitely this is, an interesting thing by Pablo Hidalgo, what he had to say. And I bet, the story group knew about, rebooting the expanded universe was going to be one of their most controversial moves, and discontinuing it, probably they knew how controversial it was going to be, because they understand, how much people invested in the books and all that, and they're probably big fans as well of that stuff. And even though, Chewbacca died in the book Vector Prime, definitely continuing it with R2-D2 and C-3PO would have been like that as well. And definitely, as I said, I will link this down below in the description. And that's pretty much all I got to say in this video. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Comment what you think down below. And I'll catch you guys next time with another video. Bye.